Good morning. Today we are going to talk about bergamot. Bergamot is one of my favorite oils. I love it. It's got a green color to it. Excuse me. And so any of the blends that you use it in, then it turns them a little bit green, but that's okay. And it's really interesting because the fruit, the fruit, sometimes it's yellow and sometimes it's green. And look at this one that I found that both of these pictures were labeled with the genus name of the citrus Bergamotia. I think is what the genus name is, or the scientific name. But look at how the interesting shape and the texture of the skin. So both of these are bergamot from Italy. I read one place that it's a cross between a lime and a grapefruit, and another place I read that it's a hybrid between a sour orange and a lemon, or a mutation of a lemon. So I don't know which one is right, because they were both reputable sources. It's a very unique citrus. Excuse me. Like most of the citrus, the oil comes from the rind and it being cold pressed. It can be traced back to Southeast Asia, but is more widely cultivated in southern Italy. doTERRA sources theirs from the coast of Reggio di Calabria in Italy, where Italian families have run bergamot orchards for several generations. Excuse me. I don't know if I got a frog in my throat or something today. But I've got a video that I'm going to give you the link to that is some of the growers talking. And it's a person who has grown up and worked with his grandfather in the orchards. And the grandfather had worked with his father. So it's multiple generations that these have come down. And with just the economy and everything, the bergamot orchards, the families have had to let them go because they haven't been able to make a profit. So this is one of the places where doTERRA has really blessed a lot of lives, because they're going in and buying the product and helping sustain the farmers and the people that work at the distillery. So it's been a really good thing for this region in Italy. So bergamot was used in Chinese medicine to help with the flow of vital energy so the digestive system can work properly. So it can be used to soothe indigestion and gas. It is a main constituent in manufacturing perfumes due to its ability to balance the mix of aromas and harmonize all the essences. So it's an ingredient in approximately half of women's fine fragrances and a third of men's colognes. Isn't that interesting? Half of the women's fragrances. It's also used by the pharmaceutical industry because it can be used to absorb the unpleasant smells of medicinal products. So I thought that was really interesting. So you can also make your own perfume with using bergamot. And this is another one that sometime in theory, I'm going to make a list of all the oils that are kosher certified. But this is about the fourth one that I remember. I don't remember what all of them are. Basil was one from last week, and bergamot is also kosher certified. So bergamot is the oil of self-acceptance. It relieves feelings of despair, self-judgment, and low self-esteem. It supports the individual in need of self-acceptance and self-love. It invites individuals to see life with more optimism. Bergamot has a cleansing effect on stagnant feelings and limiting belief systems. Doesn't that just sound fabulous? It sounds like something that I can really use a lot of the time. So bergamot is wonderful for those who feel down and hopeless. It awakens the soul to hope and offers courage to share the inner self. Reigniting optimism and confidence in the self, it imparts true self-acceptance. It teaches individuals to let go of self-judgment by learning to love themselves unconditionally. In a class that I taught quite a few years ago now, then I taught a class every month about emotions and essential oils. And there was one that was talking about love and loving our neighbors and loving ourselves. And it's always struck me and stayed with me that there was a statement in something that I was reading and said, would you ever talk to your next door neighbor the way you talk to yourself? And I thought, oh, I hope I wouldn't. I don't know, maybe if I was really mad at him, but for the most part, I do not talk to other people the way I talk to myself. And so that's something to consider. And bergamot can help you with that, to be able to see that you're good enough. Self-acceptance, being optimistic, confident, hopeful, lovable, and that you're good enough, and overcoming all of this list of other things, feeling hopeless and unlovable. So it just is a marvelous, marvelous oil for that. So the top properties, and one of the things that I love about the top properties is you can read these and it will tell you a lot of the things that they will do that I can't specifically talk about. So I always like you to notice the top properties. So it's a neurotonic, anti-inflammatory, antidepressant, antibacterial, antifungal, a digestive stimulant if your digestive system isn't working really well, analgesic, anti-infectious, anti-parasitic, antiseptic, antispasmodic, neuroprotective, which I'm assuming is being protective of your nerves, sedative, and uplifting. So there are a lot of things in there that make it just super useful for so many things. So the primary benefits, Laura Jacobs' 3 words that she has for bergamot, excuse me, are uplifting, assuring, and restoring. So it's got a calming and soothing aroma. It provides skin purifying benefits. You can use it in massage therapy for calming benefits. And this one I love. It supports a healthy nervous system, a healthy cardiovascular system, and cognitive function. I need cognitive function a lot. Excuse me. So it's got a lot of really good things. Hold on while I get another. This cough today isn't like the last couple of weeks where, it's been like a cough. This is just like a frog in my throat or something. So I don't know what the deal is. But, okay, so for some of the uses, with it being an antidepressant, you can use it topically or aromatically, and it is uplifting and creates feelings of joy, freshness, and energy by improving the circulation of your blood with no negative side effects. So that's a big one, is that there's no negative side effects. You can, for that, you can rub the oil on your feet and on your stomach. It stimulates hormonal secretions. And so that's like digestive juices, bile, insulin. So it helps maintain, it helps support proper metabolic rates. Sometimes when our blood pressure is not in an area that we like, bergamot can help us in lowering it to a more optimum level, because it's antimicrobial and anti-infectious. That describes it itself. So if you're feeling nervous tension, stress, or anxiety, use bergamot. because it has all citruses are usually uplifting. That's one of the things that the limonene does. Bergamot, one of the interesting things is it is uplifting, but it's also calming. And most of the citrus oils aren't necessarily, but it's calming, but it's also uplifting and can really help with anxiety. Because it increases hormone secretions, it lessens the sensitivity of nerves that create pain. So that's a thing to think about if you have a great way to reduce the symptoms of sprains, muscle aches, and head tension. It is very healing to your skin, so it can be used to minimize the look of scars and other marks on the skin. And that can be scars from facial blemishes that we have. It's supportive of digestive juices and production of digestive juices, so it's really beneficial for our digestive system. It's a citrus, so it can be taken internally. I love this. You can use bergamot as a deodorant, or if you have made up a deodorant of your own, just an oil blend. It prevents the growth of germs that cause body odor. So that's another thing to remember. It removes germs from teeth when used as a mouthwash and protects teeth from developing cavities. So that I haven't looked to see if bergamot is in doTERRA's On Guard mouthwash or not. If you remember, it was anti-parasitic. So that just says in itself what it does. Tetanus bacterial spores are found in soil and house dust. And if those spores enter a wound, then it can cause us great problems. But bergamot is an antiseptic, so it can help keep wounds from becoming dangerously sick. You can use a cotton ball, add 5 drops of bergamot oil, and gently rub it onto the infected area. It is an anti-congestive, so maybe I need to start diffusing it today. But you can diffuse it, you can rub it on your throat and on your chest, and it will help with your respiratory system. If you suffer from some addictions, you can apply it to the back of your neck and bottoms of your feet or diffuse it. We talked about relieving stress. I thought that this was interesting, is try diffusing 3 drops of bergamot and 3 drops of balance. I think that would be wonderful. So try 3 bergamot, 3 balance for a relaxing and energizing diffuser blend that lets you escape a mundane, exasperating day. I think that we both have mundane, exasperating days at times. You can change regular tea to Earl Grey tea by the addition of bergamot. One place that I read said that to just take a toothpick and stir it in your tea. So start small. Other places were saying putting a small drop in. So depending on how big your mug of tea is, then do it accordingly.
Wow.
Hi, Christy and Kathy. I'm glad you could join us. So you can apply it to your feet before bedtime or use with a carrier oil for a calming, relaxing massage. Add a drop or 2 to your DIY skin care cleanser or to any of your doTERRA cleansers. It's also great to add to your water if you want some variety and are sick of, just plain water. Then that's a really good thing. I'm going to send you links to 3 different things. One, there's a behind the bottle video, which those are videos that the doTERRA makes that tells how the the story of the growers and how they get bergamot and how they get it distilled and all of that. They're really interesting. There's another one that is on sourcing lemon and bergamot, because they both come from orchards in the same part of Italy. So that's one. And then they've got and they aren't, I haven't seen them as much, but doTERRA's done a lot of made in a minute videos that they show you how to do a DIY project in 1 minute. And the one that I'm sending you the video of is a bergamot body scrub. And it's really interesting because this body scrub uses freeze-dried strawberries in it. So I thought that just looked really, really interesting. I will also send you a link to a science study, research study that they did all about bergamot and the things that it would do. So bergamot is found in Forgive, Clary Calm, in their natural deodorant. It's in Citrus Bliss, which means it's got to be good if it's in Citrus Bliss. The doTERRA Spa Refreshing Body Wash, and the doTERRA Spa Moisturizing Bath Bar. So cautions, they're all the normal ones that I tell you every week, with possible skin sensitivity, keep out of your eyes in sensitive areas and all that. But this one, pay attention to. Bergamot is considered the most high risk for photosensitivity and should not be used topically under any circumstances prior to sun or other UV ray exposure. Most of them, the cautions with photosensitivity are: be aware, be careful, don't use it for 12 hours. Most of them are a be careful. This one is a don't under any circumstances use it when you're going to be out in the sun. Now, there again, if you're going to, if you can put it on underneath your shirt that you're going to be wearing, you're fine. It's just on skin that's exposed that you don't want to use it. Okay, so I am going to send you, I've got so many recipes for diffuser recipes. There is a recipe that I'm including that is for bergamot shortbread cookies that looks really interesting. There's a recipe for DIY jelly soap. And there's one for a DIY foot mask, not a face mask, but a foot mask. And bergamot and juniper berry lotion bars. A couple of months ago, on one of the product of the month parties, then I showed you how to make a hand cream. And I've got to tell you, I'm not sure why, but I've got a thing where I get really rough skin here and then inside my fingers. And it's just, this little part of my hand right here. But if I get my hand wet at all, then, this just explodes. I have been using this homemade hand cream, and it has done amazing things. And it will get it so that it's almost all the way gone. And then I have to get my hand wet so it comes back. But I'm really glad that I've got that. So, but and there's lots and lots of recipes for diffuser recipes. But when I was looking for different things, I found this great tip. And I'm going to stop sharing for a minute and then go back and see. But the lady takes her empty fractionated coconut oil bottles. And if you've gotten one of the pumps, you can get the pumps to put on it in your back office. She washes those out with dish soap and water and then lets it dry. And then she takes, and if she's got a favorite diffuser blend, then she just puts the oils in that fractionated coconut bottle, and then she can just put, depending on how big her diffuser is, she can put a whole squirt or just half a pump, and it's all ready. And I just thought that was really easy. If you've got one that you love, that you use all the time, then that, is something to do. So the fractionated coconut oil bottle will hold 7.6 bottle, 15 ml bottles worth of oil. So one of the things that she has made up is she puts in 3 bottles of citrus bloom and 3 bottles of elevation. And that fills her up. And I would imagine that would last a really long time. 3 bottles of citrus bloom. If you want to do that one, I hope you stocked up when it was available, since it's not usually available. The other one that she does is 2 bottles of spearmint, 2 bottles of bergamot, and 1 bottle of cassia, which I bet that smells really good. The fractionated coconut bottle is plastic, but it is an oil-safe plastic, so it won't corrode it or anything. And she said that she likes it because it makes sure she uses the diffuser more often, because she doesn't have to get out separate bottles. All she has to do is open it up, put water in, and squirt it. So that is going to be in the recipes that I send. And I'll also send Laura Jacobs' handout. So thank you for joining me